Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 6, Tsumihoroboshi. So last time we had a meeting between Oishi, or basically the cops, right? And then the Yakuza, Mion and her family, Akane, right? Kasai. And afterwards we also saw Keiichi talking to Rena, right? And Rena said she's going to end everything tomorrow. So it will start today. We will see what Rena is gonna plan to do, right? And yeah, let us continue. Let's see what that plan is. She gonna kill everyone? She gonna bomb everyone? Who knows, right? We'll see. Walking with Mion only to school made me miss Rena a lot.
どうしたのさ、ケイちゃん。さっきからキョロキョロしてさ。
なんでもないよ。
It was the same old path to school, but I felt nervous for some reason. I wondered what Rena meant when she said she was going to win a come from behind victory last night. I couldn't stop feeling something dangerous was going to happen. Rena thought Mion was one of her enemies. She could be lying in wait to attack Mion with a knife.
大丈夫だって。レナがそんな短絡的なことをするわけないよ。まあ仮にそうでも自分の身くらい守れるからね。
Mion said it brightly as if trying to tell me she wasn't afraid of anything. But I couldn't be optimistic like her because I knew exactly what Rena was going through. Rena must be determined by now and she probably wouldn't mind dying fighting against Mion if she wasn't going to win anyway. Of course, that didn't mean she was definitely going to take violent action. I couldn't deny the possibility either.
それよりおじさんが気にかかるのはどうしてレナが急に変になっちゃったのか、その理由の方だね。
Was there any reason? I remember the tragedy. I couldn't remember what made the world go crazy. But I remembered we got lost in that awfully scary world. It started with small things and those small things continued to pile up one after another. If you thought about it calmly, you'd laugh because it really was a stupid thing. But once those little tiny stupid things started to bother you, you couldn't ignore them. It was that kind of a disease, if you could call it one. But there must have been a reason. There must have been a reason that made the world go crazy. But it must be such a small thing that you couldn't even notice. And unfortunately, the reason was very difficult to understand and you wouldn't be able to figure it out until you died.
親戚にお医者がいてね、ちょっと聞いてみたんだけど、脳とかに腫瘍ができて、たまたまそれが珍しいところだったりすると、性格が急に変わったり、普段と別人みたいになってしまうことがあったりするんだって。大昔はこの病気が悪魔つきや狐つきなんて呼ばれてオカルト的に脚色されてたこともあるんだってさ。
ってことはつまり脳という体の一部に起きた肉体的な病気ってわけか。
今回に関しては精神的と捉えてもいいかもしれないね。レナはリナ鉄平殺しの後かなり動揺していて心が不安定になってた時期があった。そんな時期に大石のバカタレが富武さんたちの事件を大げさに吹き込むもんだから。
大石さんって人もさ、高野さんのスクラップ帳に少し似てるとこがあるかもな。
へえ、どの辺が？
なんていうのかな、ひなみ沢村連続開始事件というものが存在しているというあたりについて盲信しているというか。現に5年連続で起こってるのにこんなことを言うのもなんだけど、 俺さ、もともと連続事件なんて存在しないんじゃないかって思ってる。
It was true that the mysterious incidents happened 5 years in a row, but they were each solved individually. It's the same as a past you didn't need to talk about. We thought of the same series of mysterious deaths, which is why we thought something was going to happen this year too. It led us to think that there was a conspiracy, and that the Sonozaki family was behind it. We connect those things to the first of mysterious deaths, but we shouldn't do that in the first place. Just like I tried to keep my distance from Rena when I found out about her dark past. Wasn't everybody trying to keep their distance from the dark past of Hinamizawa? Takano-san's scrapbooks are a good example. She dramatized both recent incidents and old cruel history. And she made feasible stories out of them, saying that the Sonozaki family was behind them. But yeah, I guess if you're reading that, like actual reading Takano's books, right, or scrapbooks, you'd actually believe some of it. Oichi-san did the same thing too. He was so convinced that the Sonozaki family was behind it all that he was making him interpret things the wrong way. In that sense, we could say Oichi-san believed the same delusion as Rena.
その辺にはさ、何かあるごとに黒幕のように振る舞う園崎家の責任もあるんじゃねえのかな。この村では何かおかしなことがあれば全て園崎家の暗躍。それで決着をつけられてしまう魔法の言葉になっちゃってるんだよ。例えて言えばほら、この世の現象は全てプラズマで説明できるみたいな感じだよ。
ほう、つまりそれは何を？園崎家が全部悪いってわけ？
そうだ、お前が全部悪い。よってお前の名前は今日からプラズマミオンと呼ぶ。
Plasma Mion.
うわ、なんだかレスラーみたいな名前だな。
はあはあ、プロレスラー大いに結構。そうだケイちゃん、コブラツイストって知ってる？
やめろ、このクソ熱いのに絡みつくな。いててて。やー！
おはようございますですわ、ケイチさん。おはようなのです。
Sateko and Rika-chan looked a little sad when they saw only the two of us. If the three of us came to school together like always, they would have been really happy. But our classmates were as noisy as usual. Nobody seemed to make a big deal about Rena's absence. Chie-sensei was going to be here soon and she'd start morning homeroom. Everyone was fooling around as if they didn't want to miss a second of time until then.
ねえ、今日は臭い。窓閉めて。
バーカ、窓を閉めたらもっと暑くなるんだよ。
It smelled like gasoline or something and it really stank. Oh hell, don't tell me Rena's gonna burn this. What? Someone from the forestry service must have been putting gasoline into the construction equipment or something. Some students near the window were making a fuzz because they wanted to close the windows to shut out the smell. Our school wasn't a normal school compared to others. We were using a part of the forestry service building. Unusual things like this happen sometimes.
いやいや、こんなの大したことないって。いつだったかな、貝塚いぶきを剪定した枝葉をトラック山盛り何杯分か運び込んできたことがあってさ、あれはひどかった。あの独特の刺激臭は頭痛を起こさせるよね。
貝塚いぶきって何ですの？お野菜の名前なのです。たまにカレーに入ってますのですよ。
Do you remember the times when they were just doing some curry competition? No, look at this.
今度スーパーに行ったら探してみろ。
よくわかんないけど、最初はリカとケイイチさんに毒味をさせた方が良さそうでございますわね。
あれ、俺たちのボールがねえ。北条、お前がまた隠したんだろう。
The boys seemed to be looking for their ball for a while and they yelled at Satoko.
誰がそんなものを隠しますの？どうせ隠すならもう少し気の利いたものを隠しましたよ。
ほらほら、先生来たよ。みんな席に着きな。はい、皆さん。
Gee.
席についてください。
I kept thinking about Rena the whole time during class. I thought about what she said last night, so I wonder what her come from behind victory means. According to Takano-san's illusion, the masterminds behind the bioterrorism were the three families and a group of fanatical believers that controlled those three. In other words, the Sonozaki family. What could Rena do alone against them? The leader of the Sonozaki family, there were only two of them in the house. It was possible that Rena would try to break into their house with a knife. But I'd already come up with the possibility last night. That's why I called Mion and warned her. On the way to school this morning, Mion told me some bodyguards from the Corps had been at her house since the morning. She told me she'd be guarded herself too. There was a black car parked near the school gate, so they must have been the bodyguards. According to Takano-san's parasite theory, according to the delusion she believes in, the conditions of her victory were more complicated than that. She needed to expose the group of fanatics who are behind the Sonozaki family. And she needed to destroy their research on the parasite. Plus, Rena didn't have much time left. But exactly how could she win or come from behind victory under circumstances like that? She might interpret that town council are a group of fanatics. If so, she might attack them the next time they have a meeting at the shrine. The town council meets once a month at most. It would be hard to believe that they were holding a meeting today. She probably thought the place searching the parasite is the Irie clinic. Rena suspected that there was something fishy about the clinic from the beginning. And the suspicion must have changed to certainty in her head by now. Did she mean that she was going to attack the clinic? This wasn't like an action movie, so what could she do all by herself? Was she going to start a fire? She might. The kids were smelling gasoline, right? No, that would be pointless. But yeah, that would be pointless though. For what reason is a fire though? In order to expose the conspiracy, she'd have to get proof that they were actually studying the parasite. Was she going to break into the clinic and then get questionable, weird samples? The last problem of all was how much time she had left. If she believed she didn't have much time left under desperate disadvantageous conditions, she might try to stab whoever she thought of as an enemy. But Rena sounded like she really believed she would regain her happy and peaceful days after everything was over. Rena probably meant she was going to stay alive and win. Was there something like an antidote? It didn't have to be real. As long as it was an antidote to Rena's delusions, it doesn't matter what it was. It could be the water you wash your vegetables with. But if she thought she could get the antidote so easily, she wouldn't have been desperate about the time she has left. The antidote must be difficult for her to get. The easiest place for that in her delusion was that it was hidden somewhere in the clinic. Putting it all together like that, I felt like Irie and his clinic were in danger. Now that I thought about it, the elderly people in the village, including the members of the town council, hang out in the waiting room of the clinic all the time. If most of the board members happened to gather there for her, it'd be the perfect place to attack. I told Mion about that during lunch break.
普段ならそんなバカなって言いたいところだけど、その可能性を全く否定できなくもないからね。本家に電話してみるよ。診療所にも人を配置するように言っとく。
Mion didn't object to my crazy idea. She put her chopsticks down and went to the teacher's office to make a phone call.
先ほどからなんだか物騒な話でございますけど、本当にレナさんがそんな恐ろしいことをなさいますの？診療所を襲うなんて信じられませんわ。
するかもしれない。しないかもしれない。でもな、怒っちまったらおしまいなんだよ。惨劇に抗うってことは起こさないように戦うってことなんだから。
何事もないことを祈りたいのです。
Oh, okay, we got a choice already here. Alright, let me save then, let me save. Let us put in here. It'll be alright. So maybe we'll choose this one. Yeah, well, not maybe. We will choose this one later. Whenever we finish, I guess.
わかりました。若いのを2人ほど診療所に送ります。
まさかとは思うけどね。何をやらかすか分かったもんじゃない。
姿を見たら直ちに引っ捕らえてしまって構いませんか？
本当は嫌なんだけどな。どうしようね。
先日の会合で竜宮レナを確保して警察に引き渡すことで決着しています。ですので引っ捕らえても一応筋は通ります。
うちの対面じゃなくてレナの心情的に気の毒だなってこと。できたら本当に静かに決着したいんだけどね。
まあお若いですから。人さえ殺さなければ大抵はごめんなさいで済みますよ。
じゃあアウトかもだ。
いえいえ、見つからなければセーフですから。セーフ。沖宮の界隈ではあの2人の失踪を気にする者はいません。何かのヤバい話を踏んで夜逃げしたんだろうということになっています。あの程度のゴロつき、次から次へです。ですからセーフ。
アウトだのセーフだの、私ら野球拳でもやってるわけ？まあいいや。それじゃあくれぐれもよろしくお願いします。
了解しました。では引っ捕らえてよろしいんですね。
ちゃんとタッチアウトにするんだよ。クロスプレーなんかにしないようによろしく頼みます。
I couldn't help but have a silly chat with Kasai-san. When I put the phone down, I sensed Chia-sensei was looking at me. No wonder, as she had been able to hear the conversation clearly in this tiny room. Chie-sensei put her spoon down and with a sad look on her face, she asked the following.
今の電話は竜宮さんをめぐる話ですか？まあ、はい。園崎さん、竜宮さんはどうして家出をしちゃったんでしょう？お友達として何か知ってはいませんか？
It was hard for anyone to understand Rena's situation except for me and Kei-chan. So most of them thought that Rena just ran away from home. But after she did, the cops made too much of a fuss over it. Oishi stupidly believed that the scrapbooks were a big scoop and he overreacted in trying to find Rena. He had patrol cars running around everywhere in the village. He even used the town council's phone directory to find her. So, people in the village thought Rena did something wrong and was trying to run from the cops. What was going to be difficult for me more than finding her was to make up a story to retrieve Rena's honor after they detain her. What about this? Rena went for a walk, fell down, and hit her head on the edge of some tofu and lost her memory. What? Oishi misheard something big time and he thought she was a criminal. It was so easy. Anyway, we did make it clear that Oishi was the one who misunderstood everything at the meeting the other day. I had to make the best use of his name while he was feeling down for once. What I'd have to do was not to make a big deal about the situation, and to create an environment that allowed Rena to forget everything that happened in order to get her life back together as soon as possible.
大丈夫ですよ、先生。レナは今ちょっと病気になってるだけです。それを警察の某ベテラン刑事が素敵に勘違いして話をややこしくしただけです。まさか先生、レナが悪いことをして逃走中なんて信じちゃいないですよね。それはもちろんですけど、でも家出することによってご家族におかけしている迷惑を考えれば悪くないということはありません。
She had to fight with her father and she ran away from home for a little while. She acted childish and that's all. Maybe that'd be the best story to go with.
何か悩みがあったのでしょうか。それに気づけなかった私は教師失格ですね。一度竜宮さんとじっくりお話がしたかったです。先生、ちょっとヘビーに考えすぎです。もうちょっとリラックスリラックス。プチ家出なんて今時珍しくないですって。はあ、竜宮さんがこのまま不良になってしまって悪いことを始めたらどうしましょう。
What? Why is she acting like that? The first time I heard her do those sounds, I mean, Ryugu-san becomes a bad kid. She does something bad and gets arrested by the police. It's her teacher's responsibility. I'll be dishonorably discharged. I can't eat curry anymore. That's on the list. I'm dead. I think she's much more thinking about the curry though. Chie seemed comically upset by her own imagination. It looked funny, so I decided to leave her alone. I made to leave the teacher's office to go back to the classroom, but right then the phone rang.
はい、もしもし。ひなみ沢文庫でございます。
Chie sensei had to answer the phone all day because the principal was on a business trip. I exited to the hallway. Then I heard the tone of her voice change.
今どこにいるんですか？
What? I yelled and looked back at her. It was probably Rena. She called the school. I tried to go back inside the teacher's office, but Chie-sensei gestured at me not to come in. Chie-sensei acknowledged what Rena was saying several times, and then she looked up at the clock.
わかりました。今からすぐ行きます。先生との約束ですよ。
She said only that, put the phone down and got her purse out of her locker.
院長。先生は休養ができました。しばらく表へ出ますので、みんなを自習させてください。
She took her car key out from her purse. It was obvious that she was going to see Rena somewhere.
先生、今の電話はレナ。以上です。よろしく頼みますよ、院長。
Chie-sensei completely ignored me and she ran out into the hallway. She ran to the schoolyard and got into her car. The moment her car left through the gate, I ran out to the schoolyard myself. I headed for the black car parked near the gate and knocked on the window.
お疲れ様です。
Gangster.
今のところ異常ありません。
違う。今出て行った先生の車を追って。多分行く先にレナがいる。
了解っす。
レナは警戒心が強いから注意してね。捕まえたら有無を言わさずに本家放り込んで葛西の指示に従うこと。私の友人だよ。怪我なんかさせたら許さないからね。
Rena must have told Chie-sensei that she wanted to talk to her alone. I could tell that easily from the way she ignored my question. I did feel a bit bad for ruining their promise. But it was very important that we caught her before she did something wrong. We could still make up an excuse that she was just wandering around because she had a fight with her father and ran away from home. But if she set fire to the clinic or something, there would be nothing I could do. The car made a rough U-turn on the gravel road and it chased after Chie-sensei's car at full speed. I watched the car until it was gone. All I could do now was to pray that this would be settled calmly.
みんな敬中。午後の授業は自習になったよ。というわけで、おとなしく席について何かやること。
自習？
Mion ran up to me and spoke quietly.
レナから電話があった。
本当か？
ついさっき職員室に電話が。千恵先生が指定された場所に会いに行ったみたい。
レナのやつ、一体どういうつもりなんだ？
わかんない。とにかくうちの車に先生の後を追わせてる。レナには悪いけど、そこで踏んづかまえる。
うまくいくといいな。
荒ごとには慣れてる連中だよ。任せとこう。
じゃあ捕まえれば一件落着なのか？
だね。そしたらとりあえず病院に放り込むよ。きっと専門の医者が見たらなんだってくらいに典型的な何かの病気だよ、きっと。強迫性、心因性、ストレスなんたらとか、多分そんな感じのやつ。
While we were spending our afternoon studying peacefully, the members of the Sonozaki family would capture Rena, who was waiting for Chie-sensei somewhere. The problem would be solved. It wasn't going to be easy after that, but I was sure Mion would take good care of her. And in the end, everybody would understand that Rena just ran away from home because of a silly fight with her father. A happy ending.
一件落着でしょ。
Mion winked at me. She looked like she already thought everything was over. But that just didn't sound right to me. I couldn't see any connection between Rena and Chie-sensei. It was hard to explain, but there was something wrong. I wasn't saying that they didn't get along, but Rena was a good student, so Chie-sensei had a good relationship with her. But I just didn't understand what Rena wanted from Chie-sensei. While I was thinking about it, the door opened and one of her classmates came back from the bathroom. Oh, hell no. What are you doing, Rena? What is she holding? The hatchet?
Rena!
みんな起立起立
She's so scary. She's holding that. She's saying, Kirits.
教室の真ん中に集まって
Was she gonna kill all of them now? Everybody gasped in surprise. Even Chie-sensei couldn't make everybody go so quiet all of a sudden. Rena was gripping the shoulder of the student who came back from the bathroom. In her other hand, she had a big, scary-looking hatchet. It was the same one she had the other night. Everyone immediately understood that Rena had taken a hostage.
みんな聞こえてない教室の真ん中に集まって机は周りにどけちゃってね
Nobody grasped what she was asking us to do, so we all froze. Rena was the only one who was smiling. It was terrifying.
みーちゃん委員長でしょみんなに指示して
レナ、あんた何をやってんの？
Bam! A loud noise washed out Mion's voice. Rena hit the teacher's desk really hard with her hatchet. She pulled out the hatchet, making an ominous ripping noise. There was now a line of violence carved plainly into the desk. Uh-oh, she broke it. Chie-sensei is going to get mad when she comes back. Dude, Chie-sensei is not gonna worry about the desk. Who knows what Rena is gonna do? No, that wasn't it. What the hell?
みーちゃんはやっぱりダメだねじゃあケイイチくんに頼むよケイイチくんだけは最後まで私の仲間なんだよねだから信じていいんだよね
Rena, your eyes, you look so scary. I've never seen eyes like that in my life. Your eyes are full of insanity. Why are people afraid of insanity? Insanity means that a person doesn't share the same values and the same common sense as us. For example, say a thief breaks into your house and he ties you up. You'll get scared and wonder if he's going to stab you before he leaves. But you hope that the thief has feelings too and that he's not going to kill you for no reason. No matter how bad a person is, we tend to believe in his goodwill as long as we share the same values, the same common sense, and the same morals as him. But we can't expect goodwill from somebody who doesn't have those things. We can't expect goodwill from a person who can't communicate with us. When a burglar has a knife and you beg him not to hurt you, you expect him to listen to you and to show you mercy. In other words, you can still communicate with him. But if he doesn't have the ability to communicate, he's just like a monster that's trying to attack you, or like a blade of a guillotine that's falling down on you. You fear him because you can't communicate with him. That's insanity. It was the same fear we were feeling towards Rena at that very moment. She looked like a human just like us, but there was no room for her to communicate with us like a normal person could do. Everybody understood that fear instinctively.
ケイイチくん机をどけさせて教室の真ん中に広場を作って
わかった みんなレナが言うのに従おう。
Rena was like a barrel of gunpowder at the moment. She seemed really calm and quiet, but she could explode any minute. When she did, I doubt she'd show us any mercy. She probably wouldn't hesitate to use the hatchet on us. That's right, just like how I didn't feel guilty or hesitate to kill Rena and Mion. Everybody went all quiet while pushing the desk against the wall to make a space where Rena wanted it. Rena saying that we're moving too slow hit the blackboard with a hatchet, making a horrible noise. Every time she did that, she left an equally horrible scar on the blackboard, the thing that we looked at most in the school.
じゃあケイイチくん、みんなのロッカーから縄跳びを出してもらえるかな。それを使ってみんなを後ろ手で縛ってね。
俺縛るのとか下手くそなんだよ。多分上手に縛れないぞ。
後でちゃんと縛れているか全員のを調べる。ゆるい人はその場で殺しちゃうからしっかり縛ってあげてね。
We were still kids. We saw the word kill all the time. It was used a lot in comics books and cartoons after all. So normally the Shum would used to be hearing the word kill. But when Rena said she'd kill us, it sounded so frightening. I'd never heard something like that before in my life. To Rena, our lives were like cards she could use for negotiation. She'd get rid of one card every time somebody refused her request. Get rid of? Now, why did she use such a scary words like get rid of for simple things like playing cards? Anyway, there were about 20 students in this class. That was a little bit too many for Rena to handle. She might get rid of one or two just to set an example. I decided to do what Rena said because I didn't want her to lose her temper. I got out. Everybody jumps ropes from their lockers.
じゃあみんな床にうつ伏せになってね。ケイイチくんは後ろ手にどんどん縛っていって。きっちり縛るんだよ。ケイイチくんは私の味方だもん。だからわざとゆるくなんか縛ったりしないね。
Mion tried to make eye contact with me. If everybody was tied down, we wouldn't be able to stop her from occupying the school. There were more than 20 students in this class. Half of them were boys, but most of them were smaller than Rena. But there were enough people here to overpower her. But if we did that, Rena would probably hit her hostage with a hatchet. And she'd use the hatchet to attack the rest of us without hesitation. It'd be a bloody battle. I'm sure somebody would get hurt if we tried to overpower her. The hostage would be seriously injured. Or maybe even die. If that happened, it was over. No matter how hard we tried to cover up, she'd never be able to live peacefully like before, I mean. Mion seemed to understand that too. Yeah, I could tell from Rena's eyes that she wasn't going to go easy on us. If somebody showed defiance, she'd break the hostage head open immediately. Of course, Rena had done that before. She'd probably do it again with no hesitation. But as long as we did what she said, we could prevent that bloody tragedy. If we could somehow solve the situation without shedding any blood, with Mion's influence, we might still be able to pretend that this never happened. At the least, we had to make sure she didn't kill anyone.
従おう。ケイちゃん。
Mian tried to think of ways to overpower Rena, but she couldn't come up with any good ideas to save the hostage. That's how easy it would be for Rena to kill them. The best thing to do at the time was to wait for a chance without agitating her further. Mion lay down on the floor and everyone else followed suit, sluggish with terror. And I was left alone, standing rooted to the spot with jump ropes in my hands. All my classmates were lying face down on the floor while Rena was pointing the hatchet at the hostage, watching her every move from behind the teacher's desk. I just stood frozen in the middle of it all.
ケイイチ君にはまだまだ手伝ってもらうことがたくさんあるの。だから早くして。あんまり時間がかかると何人かが死んでしまうかもしれない。
Some of the little kids started crying when they heard the word die.
大丈夫だよみんな。ケイイチ君がきっと助けてくれるから。だからきっと誰も殺されないよ。
Damn it. What a bold threat. She said I was her friend, but she was playing with the meaning of the word. I was the last person who could still fight against Rena under these circumstances. But it wasn't going to be easy to overpower her by myself. I wasn't sure if I could do that. Even if I tried to act tough, once Rena pointed the hatchet at somebody's neck, it was over. I shouldn't fight against her for now. I should just wait for a chance. As long as Rena was alone, there would be a chance. She made me tie them up because she couldn't do that by herself. There was a limit to what she could do because she was by herself. If we could cover this up somehow before Chie-sensei came back, we'd still be able to pretend like we were kidding around. I finally realized something though. I realized why Rena called Chie-sensei to meet her. In order for Rena to take over the classroom, she needed to get rid of Chie-sensei. Chie-sensei had a very strong sense of justice. Even if Rena had the gun, she wouldn't hesitate to overpower her. Yes, she's gonna use the power of the curry. She was the kind of teacher who would risk her life for her students. Rena needed to figure out how to get rid of Chie-sensei. That was the key to her plan. Rena probably thought about attacking her from behind at first. But there was a risk. As Chie-sensei was a grown-up woman, she probably thought that attacking her directly wasn't a wise choice. Dude! Rena attacked Teppei, but I guess it was a surprise attack, right? She killed him instantly and then she fought with Rina as well, right? Rena killed her, so... But it would be sad though if Chie-sensei fought with Rena and then Rena killed her, right? Yeah, that would be tragic. I wouldn't want to see that. So naturally the next option was to lure her out somewhere. Rena called Chie-sensei and told her she wanted to talk to her in private in order to lure her out to some place far from here. So most people, including Chie-sensei, thought Rena was just running away from home. So Chie-sensei must have thought Rena had some problem she wanted to talk to her about. It was too easy to deceive her. Where did she make the phone call from? She probably used the phone in the school. Well, not in the school to be exact. She probably used the phone on the second floor of the school, the one belonged to the forestry service. The school was using part of the forestry service building, but this particular location was more of a branch office. So it's not like somebody was here all the time. Rena knew that and she had probably been hiding there for a while. She called the phone on the first floor from the second floor and she made Chie-sensei leave the school. I didn't think it was a coincidence that the principal was on a business trip today. She probably snuck into the school yesterday. She saw the principal's schedule, learned how to call the phone on the first floor from the second and carried out her plan. She planned it perfectly. Yeah, I knew it. Rena was insane, but I knew she was actually really calm. She was possessed by her delusions, but she was also unbelievably calm about it. So she could still think fast. I knew that very well because I had been through the same thing before. What was worse is that Mion's bodyguards were gone, the gangsters. Mion told him to follow Chie-sensei because she thought Chie-sensei was going to meet with Rena. Damn it, everything's been working out in her favor.
しまったぞ。
I tied up the last person and looked in Rena's direction. If I didn't tie them up really tightly, Rena would kill them. But when I tied them too tightly, they suffered in pain. Their pained cries made me feel useless.
ありがとう、ケイチくん。ケイチくんを疑りはしないけど、一応全員を調べるね。ケイチくんは頭の上で手を組んでうつ伏せに寝ててね。これは全員に言うけど、私の断りなく立ち上がったら殺す。
Gee, look at her eyes now, like a cat.
本人も殺すし、見せしめでランダムにもう一人殺す。
And her voice is changing as well.
ランダムじゃよくないね。じゃあこうしよう。言うことを聞かなかった子と出席番号に銃を加えた子を殺すにしようか。例えば岡村くんが言うことを聞かなかったとする。そうすると出席番号11番
Watanabe-kun.
渡辺くんが一緒に殺されちゃう。わかる？常に2人死ぬの。歯向かっても自分の命一つじゃ責任が取れないってこと、よーく胸に刻んでおくんだよ。
How awful. She totally understood how to threaten people. Normally you stand against an attacker at your own risk. If you fail, you're going to die. But if you're responsible for someone else's death, then you couldn't try to resist. You can't risk somebody's life with your own decision.
全員ちゃんと縛れてるね。ケイチくん、縛るの下手くそって言ってたけど、結構うまいよ。自信持っていいよ。じゃあケイチくんは立って。
It was too late to fight back. I followed her orders. I just had to wait for a chance. We could still turn this into some kind of bad joke. Can you still though? I had to do something. Anyway, what are you planning to do, Rena? Don't tell me this is the come from behind victory you were talking about. Okay, so yeah, let's take a break there for now. Jesus Christ, Rena. So this is her plan. She pretty much is doing a hostage situation with the students, right? Then all of her classmates basically, right? And yeah, Rena is really smart though. She's like one step ahead all the time, I suppose, right? She planned all of this. Went to school, planned it, diverted Chie-sensei, baited her to go to another place, and then Mion pretty much told her bodyguards to follow Chie-sensei because, yeah, they might be problems, right? To protect her, basically. But in reality, Rena was in the school And here we are now. Is people gonna die? Is some of the kids will die, or some of the characters, our main characters, gonna die? We will have to see, but hopefully not though. Because in this chapter, yeah, pretty much Keiichi remembered what happened in chapter 1, right? He's trying to reason with Rena. Trying to reason with her, right? He will try to do that until the very end. That's for sure. And hopefully he succeeds. But we will have to see. So yes, we are gonna concede this and do more of Higurashi When They Cry. Chapter 6, Tsumihoroboshi in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.